what's up, y'all? Welcome back for another episode of CTYD's The Creative Space. I'm your host here, CTYD Pat, and I'm here with Kastaysa.
Hi, nice to meet y'all.
Rather than letting me introduce her, I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Yeah, so like Pat said, I'm Kastaysa and I'm a multimedia artist. I do crochet and artwork, and I'm also pursuing my master's degree right now in landscape architecture, soon to be graduating this May, and I'm just excited to be here with the CTYD team.
Hey, we're excited to have you here. So, out of all the things that you do, because you do a lot, what's your favorite thing to do?
Well, my overarching favorite thing to do is create. And when I say that, I mean that whenever I have a vision and I have the ability to bring that to fruition, I make sure that I take the time to really do that. So, like for this piece, it took me like 2 weeks to make it, but when I had the vision, I'm like, I have to do it.
Yeah.
And no matter how long it takes me, I always make sure to complete that vision. And then once it's all complete, I just look at it and marvel at the magic of it because it came from my brain and all
Yeah.
of a sudden it's physical. So I just think that's something that really brings me satisfaction of living for real.
And I know like you said, it takes you 2 weeks. So, is that like the longest amount of work of time you put in on a specific project, or?
Yeah, like depending on what's going on and how much I can balance my time. Sometimes things take me 2 days. Like I made an outfit, like a full outfit in 2 days. And I even made Desiree's birthday outfit that I did for her. I made that in 4 hours. So I was just like grinding the night before because I'm like, I want to make her something. And I just worked my fingers to the bone. I put some colors together. Then it just so happened to match her hair. And I thought about it really quickly and just kind of threw something together. So it just all depends on like my level of motivation really, and then like if I'm in school or not, and or working, and how that all plays together. So it's kind of like if I have the time, then I'll do it really quick, and if I don't really have too much time, then I'll kind of just space it out and still make sure to get it done.
Okay. So, at what age did you realize, like, hey, like, creating is something I really want to do with my time and with my life?
Well, that started at age 5, and that was really magical too because I was really into books at that time. And I had seen this because especially this Dora book that I had. I used to take some notebook paper and put it over the page and trace the characters out of it. And then when I got good enough at tracing, I started just taking it and looking at it.
Yeah.
And doing it on my own without tracing it. And I mastered that still about maybe, it took me a couple months just to master that at the age of 5. And then after that, I just took off with drawing on my own, with still drawing the characters from my books and stuff. Because I used to do a lot of reading. And so it was just like cool for me to draw what I saw. And it really fine-tuned my hand-eye coordination for sure, which led me to everything else after that. So.
Okay. So, what are some of the, like, inspirations that you like to jot down or draw? Like,
Well, most of my inspiration comes from me being a black woman and other black women that I see. And then outside of that, it also comes from nature, which is why I pursued landscape architecture, is because nature has everything in it. And we, as humans, were inspired by nature since ancient times to build the architecture that we have and to design the patterns that we have, because nature has patterns already. And so, taking those patterns and then abstracting those to make something new is just like the greatest source of inspiration that we could possibly have.
okay. So, when it comes to nature, like, what are some of the key things? Like, for instance, like, you like the trees and the grass and sky and stuff like that?
Everything.
Everything.
Like literally, when I go on my nature walks, I like to take pictures like I'm a little fairy, right? Get really down in there and get all the little nitty gritty details, because like tree bark has beautiful detail that people just overlook, because that in and of itself has a different type of geometry that it follows. And like plants don't have brains, but they follow a specific geometry. And
That's true.
so those types of geometries I take inspiration from to make like all the spiraling patterns and the V-shaped textures and different things that branch off of each other or align with each other. And like even just like blades of grass and like flowers and the buds when they die off, and then they're still standing in the winter time, and you have this incredible texture that you wouldn't even have if you didn't have flowers, you know, or like how that kind of seasonality brings different aspects about how you can make stuff that lasts for all year round. And that's what I like about it.
The way you describe things are very poetic.
Thank you.
I don't know if you ever heard that before. The way you describe that is very poetic. What are some of the hardships you've experienced when it comes to, growing your talents?
A lot of the hardships come from me with the lack of managing my time very well. And then also it's just having that motivation to really do things for others sometimes. Like having orders is fun, but when it's just like, when it feels like work, that's when it's like really hard for me to do it, you know? And I've been trying to channel that playful energy all over again to really be like, this is still fun. This is still what we like to do. Yeah. You know, even if we are trying to turn it into a business rather than just do it for fun, it still is something that I enjoy. And so, like, when it feels like work, that's when I'm like, I don't know if I really want to continue to do this, you know, and I take a break and do other things like draw if I want to do that, if I'm taking a break from crochet, or if I'm doing like screen prints or Photoshop work or something like that, then I always just take break from other things to do other creative outlets. So that way that feels like play all over again. And then it'll incubate over time. And I'm like, okay, now it feels like play again. And I can go back to it because I have new ideas at that point. So I think whenever I do hit that rough spot, it's just me trying to take that time to do that reflection portion to be like, okay, what are we missing here? You know, what's becoming stagnant about it, you know? And then when I find that out and I find the solution to my problem, that's when I can overcome it to say, okay, we can jump back into it now.
Yeah, okay. Where are like some of your favorite places to work? I know you said like you like the nature walks. Do you ever take your pad on, like take the sketch pad with you on the nature walk and just...
Yes.
You do?
And as a landscape architect, we're kind of required to do so, right? It's so funny, though, because when I first started, they were like, yes, take your sketchbook everywhere. And I'm like, what? You know, because I've never done that before. I've never taken my sketchbook everywhere. And when I traveled, because I've traveled to Boston and Portland on my own, and I took my sketchbook with me because we did those for field trips and we had to draw what we saw. And that was an awesome time. And I definitely recommend, like, for people that like to just doodle and things like that, get a little tiny little book with blank pages and take it everywhere, you know, and you can write in it, you can draw in it, you can just like put little things in it that you find, you know, and keep it like a little record for your adventures. And because that's what I do, and I feel like it just keeps a record of everything that I do for my life, and then I can look back at that and say, oh yeah, I remember that adventure. And like then it'll be like, oh, well, why did I pick that up? And I'm like, oh, it sparked that idea, you know? And then when I remember that idea, that's when I'm like, okay, we can add to the list of everything to create at this point, because I have a to create list, and it's about probably like a mile long at this point, right? And I'm just like, I guess I can do this or this. So whenever I feel like I'm burnt out on something, or if I can't think of something, I have my to create list to fall back on. And that's like something that's like my safety net for me.
Yeah. Okay. You ever find inspiration in popular culture?
I do. And a lot of the time it's coming from the Black eccentric culture. Because when you take inspiration from where you come from and what's a part of you, your work becomes so much more. And I believe that honestly, like, my work could stand alone without me, because it has that much power. Yeah. To me anyway. Like, whenever I do post anything or share anything that I've created, I know that it's just an extension of me, and therefore, since it only reflects what I'm passionate about, I can detach from it and let it stand on its own, to have that integrity of like, this is where my inspiration comes from, and this is why, and this is the power of that inspiration. So it's like, when you build on that, it really brings everything full circle for how your community can be shaped through your creation of art, however you define your art.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you giving us a lot today. I like that. I like that. A lot of people ain't all, as descriptive and, you know, defining what makes them do their work and why they do their work. But you're giving us a lot. As far as fashion goes, how would you describe like your taste for fashion?
My taste for fashion, it's a little all over the place, really, because like I have friends that be like, you don't do plain clothing all the time. And I'm like, well, I don't like plain clothing. Like if I'm going to have something plain, it's going to be something that got texture on it. Yeah. Like this is one solid color, but it has texture on it. And so I like things that give interest still. And that's only because I'm an artist and like I like interesting things, and for me it's just like I like chic but out of the box chic. And then I also like comfy, but unorthodox comfy. And professional, but like, wow, that's oddly professional type of clothing. So for me, it's like when you make a statement, you make it because it's you instead of what you think that you're reflecting because of the roles that you play.
Okay. So, in the age of social media, you see it all the time. Celebrities kind of have their own, like you said, chic, but it's out of the box chic. Like they have their own kind of spin on fashion. Mm-hmm. So I want to play this little game. I like to call it Drip or Not. And basically, I'm going to show you some celebrities. I'm going to ask you to tell me if it's drip and why or why not.
Okay.
But to you, I mean, you don't share the same views as everybody else. So
right.
Okay, so first we have Ari Lennox. Or Lennox, I don't know how to say it.
I thought it was Ari Lennox.
Ari, I don't know. I don't
know. Well, I've been calling her Ari this whole time, so I'm gonna continue that. Okay. Honestly, I feel like that's drip for sure because she's matching with her moped. Like, you don't get no doper than that. Like, it's simple, but the moped is simple, so you have to compliment that.
Yeah.
And then she got the cute pointy shoes. I got some black ones just like that, actually. And it all just ties together because she got the white with the white, the green with the green. So I feel like that's drip for sure. It's simple, but it's something that's like, hey, I didn't want to do all the extra today. So
yeah, it looks nice. I like especially like the mint color. Like,
mm-hmm.
That's dope. I want a jacket just like that, like a little mint jacket.
Yes.
Cool. That's a nice color on her.
And you got the green on already. You probably blend in with the screen.
I probably do blend in with this green screen. Okay, so next we have Coi Leray.
Ooh, is that leather?
I think it is.
That looks like leather. Oh wait, or it might be sequins. Oh, if that's sequins, that's crazy. Okay, I like that. And it's only because yes, it's sequins.
Yeah, that's sequins.
Oh my goodness. And it all matched all the way down. That's crazy. See, I would say yeah, because on top of that, you shining like she got like the Michael Jackson flair, with the shininess.
Yeah, she do.
So I would say yeah. Oh, and she got them suitcases that got the rims on it. And I seen some at Walmart just the same. I was like, dang, I gotta get something like that, just cause it's got rims on it. I think the whole thing is just that's cool to me, cause it's comfy, but it's still making a statement.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about it is the hoodie. I like the design of the hoodie. Not just because that's the name of her song, but like I just like it. I like the colors to it. I like things with a lot of color in it. It makes it pop. Like even though it's a black outfit, she still got the color in there.
Right, and then the pink still ties it together too because it's got pink in it, and then she got a pink hat. But then the black and white shoes are more neutral, so then they ain't overdoing the composition, So I think I think that's a win.
Yeah, that's a win. I think Fab is kind of undisputed champ when it comes to this dress and stuff.
For sure. Cause I'm talking about the whole way down, the coral color popping. Like that's how I'll be dressing. If I had shoes to go with every outfit, I promise you that'd be me.
Nah, for real.
Like literally, because I don't know what it was about having just that solid color on back then, but he's bringing it back. Like I know back when I was in middle school, that was the thing. You just had the whole color straight down. I'm talking about from the shirt to the pants to the shoes to the socks, probably even your drawers at that point, like So I'll say that's a win for sure. And he's got the crazy socks on, you see? So he got a little bit of razzle dazzle, you see?
Oh, I see it now. Yeah, he do got them. He do got them.
So he got some texture on the socks too to bring it all back. I would say, yeah, that's a win for sure.
It's crazy because usually I like to mix and match my outfits, but I feel like this one solid color it really works on them, especially with the shoes.
And I think it just depends on what you're going for. Like, especially if you know you're gonna take photos, right? And he's got the simple background and they're complementary colors, so like the full composition of the photo works because this is red and green if you're looking at it for essence of color. And since they're complements, it's like, well, the whole thing just worked.
It do.
So I would say, yeah, that's a win.
All right. So we gonna go back to that one, but
Okay.
my boy Wale. It's crazy because you don't usually see him when it comes to like celebrity outfits, but I feel like
That's
this
true.
one, that's kind of dope to me. Something I would wear.
What is on this shirt? Is that birds?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
It is. I think it's flamingos.
Yeah, it's like
Or cranes. No, it looks like cranes. Never mind.
I can't really tell you. I don't really know too much about birds, but they look nice.
I like that shirt. I really do. It's Japanese-esque for the pattern. And I really like that. And then he got the Cuban links on to tie it together for a simple, bold statement. And then the shoes match. Of course. I'd say, yeah, that's a win.
Yeah, I like it. Thing is, I don't really usually like the holy jeans, but I feel like it just like it ties the outfit together.
Because it gives it like a rustic look to it because you have such that sleek, because I'm pretty sure that shirt is like a silkier material probably. So you was like, let me contrast it a bit with something that's a little bit more rustic because he didn't want to put on no dress shoes or nothing.
Yeah.
So he like, nah, let's do it street and mix it up with the shirt.
It look good.
I don't know about the hat because the hat, I don't see any green, but then of course it's red and green. So like, it goes still because it's complimentary. So I say it's still a win.
Okay. Then we got Scissor.
Of course. Oh my gosh, I used to have a shirt just like that almost.
The Tweety Bird.
Yes. I don't know what happened to it. My grandma had it or something. I don't know about them shoes though. The shoes are a little bit much, even though they simple, but it's just the silhouette. I don't know about the shoes. But if it's just the shirt and the pants without the shoes, that's a win because you can't rock all white if your white is looking dingy, and she got it. She's got it. So I would say without the shoes, it's cool for sure. So I would say like maybe a 7 out of 10. Just
7 out of 10.
Because the shoes make the whole thing.
So what shoes would you put on with her?
I would put on like some pink shoes because then it would make the bubble gum in the shirt pop. Because it's a background color instead of using like blue shoes because it's already a foreground color.
Yeah.
So I would say pink shoes with that would have made that go crazy.
Yeah, I think I especially like her shirt just because it's like something you will find like at a
like at the landing.
Yeah, like something you will find at like a little market. So
yeah, when people just make them custom shirts and stuff.
Yeah,
because like that's really taking it back to when graffiti shirts were actually a thing, and I kind of miss those low key. Like I'm not even gonna cap with you.
Bring it back.
I might have to. I need to have my whole studio set up first. So in May coming soon, we're gonna have some graffiti shirts coming out.
Hey, y'all heard it here first on the CTYD's creative space. So in May, y'all better.
I'm telling you, tap in.
Peeled.
Tap in. We're going to have the whole city hot.
Hey.
I'm telling you.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for playing our little game.
It was fun.
Yeah. But, we kind of showed them celebrities' fashion, but we want to show them your fashion.
Okay.
So coming up, y'all stay put. She's going to showcase some of her work. All right, y'all. So we're going to have her show off her creations.
Well, actually, I'm going to correct you on that. It's my love fabric.
Okay. We're going to have her show off her love fabric. And when you see it, that actually makes sense. The name actually makes sense. So when you see it, you're going to understand why she calls it her love fabric.
All right. Well, I guess I'll start with what I got on. Should I stand up?
Yeah, you can if you want to.
Will it get the whole thing?
It should.
I mean, because, like, this is huge, right? So I'm tiny, though. I'm 5'2". And I like this piece for sure. Like, it's got the V in it, so hence on the love on that one. And I really like this one. It's my snuggle one. And then this one, It's got a few different names. I call it Candy Corn Cardi, and then I also call it Prairie Fire, cause she fire all the way. So I love this one for sure, cause the symmetry in it just goes so crazy. The sleeves are identical. The white is in the middle of on the back, and it just couldn't have been any more perfect. Really, I love this one.
You called it Candy Corn Cardi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause like the colors on the sleeves and everything, is just what really like brings it all together. But
Yeah.
then I couldn't ignore all the other colors either. So I'm like, it's also got that prairie fire. I spend a lot of time in Manhattan, Kansas, and they do prairie fires out there, and it's a really it's like a beautiful sight to see when they do it, because you can just see the waves of the fire move over the Flint Hills, and it's got those same colors in it where you see those browns and the whites and the reds and the oranges from the fire, and it just the embers float up into the sky, and it's really magical. Like, I've never seen people burn the earth intentionally before, but they do it for controlling the plant communities and
Oh,
stuff.
like for farming and stuff like that.
Yeah, because
Oh,
they
that's
do
dope.
agriculture out there, and like the cows and stuff that be out there, they corral them up so they don't get burnt to a crisp. Um, so when it smells like poop outside, that's where all that comes in from, is way out in the middle of Kansas. So just so you know. And then some of my artwork, like this is one of my faves. This is my Erica Badou piece. And I don't know if you can see the catch lights on it, but she's got metallic on her. And it's in the pattern on the background, and I call her Mother Badou. And it's got the snake plant in there. It's all watercolor and ink, and the ink is indelible, so it doesn't like wash away, because I put my ink work down first, and then I paint in it like it's a coloring book. And I love that piece. This is a commemorative piece that I did for my cousin that passed away, Ashton, and he got shot. So I did a commemorative piece for him. And then I also have, I don't want to show those because those are different. Well, okay, I guess I could show these because this is different. So I made a robot design. This was something totally new. I got commissioned to do for this dude. He does gaming. And he was creating a video game, and he was like, well, I'm commissioning all these different artists to do a robot design, because the storyline was that as the robot upgraded and got new personalities, he would transform into different versions and stuff.
Yeah.
And so this was my version of what he had sent to reference for. And I gave him like these spark hands. And they were like electric rods for fingers, and that's why he got the electric on his head and on his chest. And then he could like extend out, and it was just something that's totally different. And I'm like, I don't know, I just had fun with it just to see where my imagination would take me, because I've never done a robot before. So that was something that was totally different.
That's dope. That's dope.
Lapis OG, she's one of my faves. I love Lapis OG. She's the first one that I've done with blue hair, actually. And I got the inspiration from myself because I love watching Steven Universe, and so that's where the pose comes from.
It's crazy because I thought that's where it was coming from. The Lapis Lazuli, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I heard that.
Yes, and that's exactly where the color scheme came from, was lapis, the natural mineral of lapis. And so I was like, yeah, let's do that and have the pose, and it all ties together for that. So I call her Lapis OG. And then I got what I call outdo, because you know they say endo, but this one's outdo. And she's one of the ones that I really love, because for her, she's got like the pink and the greens that go together, and it was something very different that I've never done before for like a different dimension, where her hair is flowing up into this new dimension of her organic personality, basically. And so that's where that comes from. And I love Outdo a lot. And actually, the mistake that I made on her was that I started painting, and I forgot that I had this other line, because she was going to be bigger. And I was like, well, skip it. We're going to make like a reflection now.
Yeah.
And so it's like where she's mirrored from behind and above. And so I took that one mistake and made it to something that was a little bit more unique for the character taste. And when I figured it out, I was like, oh, well, can't go back now. I already painted it. So
Hey, well, it turned out just great. So that's
thank
dope.
you. And these are just like a handful of the ones that I really enjoy. And one of my top favorites that I'm taking inspiration from right now, I call it Love in the Cosmos. And this one, it took 5 hours to ink. Um, and that was just me taking my sweet time with it. And it's inked corner to corner. I didn't put my signature in it, so this is one of the ones that I definitely protect. Because I don't even know if I signed it on the back. Yeah, I signed it on the back. But this one, I didn't even channel where my signature would go. I just started going with it. So this one is just one of the ones that I definitely protect. And I try to make sure that I keep the original on me at all times. But this one, she and him are lovers, and this is their love universe. And I just think of it because I love love. I'm a love person through and through. And for me, this is what love looks like.
That's crazy. That's you said 5 hours, right?
Yeah.
I could tell because that's crazy.
And like the level of detail in it, I used a few different pens for it to get the different weights and stuff. But the level of detail, I use the exact same pen for all my detailing. And I go through pens like crazy.
I can see. I can see.
And I even do like ballpoint pens, like regular writing pens, but I also have drawing pens for the fine points that I like to get. And these are just a few of the ones that I'll just run through. Um, oh, and I even do skin tones. Here's like one of my process works. So for skin tones, and I even put metallics on these as well, just to see how my metallic paint would work out with it. Just to give it like a different kind of key aspect for when the light hits it in real time, and just to play on like makeup effects, like how we do it in real life with our highlight and things like that. And just trying to figure out different ways of bringing my artwork to life. And I like to do graffiti, like you can see at the bottom here
dope.
for skin tone. And so these were just like a few different iterations of me playing around with how to get to different levels of melanin and melanated people, and just exploring all of my different things that I like to do. I'm going definitely out of order here, but this one, I don't have a name for her, but the first thing that comes to mind is Emergence. And I got this from a reference photo of this woman in a milk bath, and I was like, that pose goes crazy, so I had to redo it. And I really just wanted to test out the different softness of my paints that I had. And so I literally painted the whole page, but I have a really crisp border on it. I taped it off so it can have that nice crisp finish. And this is just one of the ones that I like to do for my more energetic ink work instead of something that's really controlled and refined. So this is just one of my pieces that I definitely like to showcase when I do actually get reminded that I have her. Because, like, there's so many ones that I'm like, oh, my God, I did do that.
Yeah.
Or things that I just forget about because I keep a lot of them tucked away just for protecting and just for the sake of protecting. Oh, here's, like, another process piece. Just for me testing out different colors because I like to watercolor a lot. So it's like me recording which skin tones is what, or like different kinds of skin tones, like mustard based or orange bone based or deep peach or Sudanese or like red bone or sun kissed, and then testing out like all these different combinations with each other from my Kuretake kit. So I make sure to make note of what paint set that I used and everything, so that way I know like, oh well, if I test it out with a different paint set and then the texture is a little different, I'm like, well, that doesn't look the same, you know? So it's kind of like one of those types of recordings. And then this is a sketch that I've done of myself. And I was just laying in bed and I took a picture and I'm like, ooh, that's a cute pose. Let me draw that. So And I put those jumbo twists in my hair at that point, and that was like a really cute piece. And I was like, And at that point, this got me. This was actually a prep work for another piece. If I can find her, here she go. That was prep work for her. I call her Masked Up.
That's dope.
And she's got metallic on her nails and jewelry. And for her, I call it Masked Up, but it's also Mask Off at the same time, because it's kind of like, well, you still have to hide behind a mask at some point, but as long as that mask still showcases who you are, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I really wanted purple braids at the time, and I was like, oh, it's so double standard, and I didn't want to do it just then. So I put it in my artwork instead, because then at least I can get away with it.
Yeah.
And so training from that previous sketch for just how to look at hair and draw it, because I don't really do the highly detailed hair. I do a lot of afro.
Yeah.
Because that's normally how I wear my hair, is afro. And it's huge too. I'm talking about like shoulder to shoulder, past the shoulder, like
back in the 70s type.
Yes,
okay,
like the Funkadelics, and everybody knows when I come through, they be like, "Oh, that's her for sure."
Now that's Kastaysa.
That's Kastaysa for sure. And speaking of purple, this is my favorite purple piece. I was exploring with monochromatics at one point, just to do different tonal values and things like that for capturing light and shadow. And she's one of my favorite ones because I really wanted dreads at one point too. And I was like, I don't really want to commit though. That's the only thing, 'cause I like to change my hair so much. So I was like, we're going to paint it. We're going to paint it. So every painting that I've done is literally like an extension of a desire that I have.
Yeah.
So then I can still live through it to some degree, because it's more of like a visualization for me. And she's one of my favorites just because like she got the zebra print going, and I added the ink to her afterward. So I actually painted her first and then put the ink down. And that was a totally different technique for me, because when I painted her first, it really had me control where my shadows and my lights were. And that was how I really channeled how to capture light better. And when I did that, like my art just took off after that.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, this is something that I really just appreciate. She's one of my favorite ones. And another one that I get a lot of love for is this one. And I call her Jade Babe.
Yeah, that's dope.
And she's the school girl. She's got the school skirt and the button-up shirt underneath the sweater for the layered effect, and her tie. I used to love wearing ties. I still collect them as like a little thing for me, because I know how to tie them and everything.
Yeah.
I used to be in debate, so we had to dress up and stuff. And I guess everything that I've done at this point, I've had to dress up for. So it was kind of like channeling that, like that little mild professionalism as you're still doing your day-to-day thing, but having the wild hair with it to give it that taboo of like, oh, you're supposed to have sleek hair with professional clothing and things like that. But I'm like, well, you still have to contrast, because your hair is a part of your fashion too. So whenever I do things like this, for example, I'm like, this is still beautiful, and it's changing the narrative for how we can wear our natural hair, because I wear my hair all kind of different ways. And like, especially me being a landscape architect, dreads is taboo for us. Like, and I'm like, we're pushing that, because I'm the only Black person in my class. And so for me, I already stand out. So I may as well just, continue to push those boundaries even more by doing like the braids that go all the way down to your tailbone, and having the different colors and jewelry in your hair. I got shells and things in my hair right now, and they love it, right? They're just like, I love that. It's so you. And I did it because it's me. And for me, I'm just like, we're changing the narrative, because there's no reason as to why hair should be illegal, right? Like, they just all of a sudden passed the no hair discrimination law in California. Like, why would you even discriminate against someone's hair in the first place, And so my art really speaks to those types of social injustices that we face, that nobody really wants to talk about. And I want to change that narrative every day, because as we are, we should be as we are.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't have to change or modify who we are to blend in with whatever we want to do with life. And so for me, it's kind of like using my art to showcase that, because that's what I do. And when people see my art, they're like, oh, that's you for sure. Because I don't show my eyes all the time. Like, yeah. I'm not even showing them today.
I'm like, right now I can barely see them.
And that's because, like, eyes are such a taboo thing for me. Like, when you look at someone, yeah, your eyes are the window to your soul, but the whole person is the soul.
Yeah.
So you might be able to look into my eyes and see a little something, but you're going to see everything if you look at all of me. Mm-hmm. And that's what I wanted, because, like, eyes get so much, like, attention in artwork. And I'm like, no, I don't want that, you know? And I don't even like to draw eyeballs, because I used to draw them all the time, and I hated it because they were never the same.
Yeah.
And that's what I hated about it. Like, they were never the same. And I was just like, no, we're not doing eyeballs ever again. So I started covering them with different types of elements, whether, like, for the Badou piece, it was her headband that she has, or majority of the time it's hair that covers it, because I used to have bangs at one point, mm-hmm. and like bangs grew out, and I was like, this is perfect. And ever since then, I just was like, I can't go back. And even when I wear my hair all out and my afro, I still have my hair covering most of my face, because it gives like this mysteriousness to it, which is where Naturally Allure comes from, because that's my brand name. And I love that name, because it's like, that's really who I am. I'm Naturally Allure, because you just see me and you're like, she's very interesting, and yeah. I want to ask her a question. And then it's also like, now that I've talked to her, I want to know more, and I don't know how to stop asking questions. And I think, and that's like with everyone that I've met so far, or people that meet me, they open up to me very easily, because I have this mysticism about me, and they're like, I'm going to open up to you so you can open up to me, so I can know more about you. Yeah. And I like that. I really enjoy being Naturally Allure, and I like to have those timeless pieces that I create, because for me, it gives me that legend of leaving a legacy that I want to have with my work. And that's through my love fabric and through what I call my spiritual extensions at this point, for my artwork. And I think for me, it's just creating those different cascades of visualization pushes all the different prospects of what Black people can do, you know, and what Black women can do, and what women can do, and what young girls can do. Like, I started everything at the age of 5, and I was always taught that you can do whatever you put your mind to. So, like, why not, you know? And at that point, you really have power when you do that. And so it's kind of like, for me, when I do actually do my artwork, it's like, this is something that the world needs, and I treat it as a gift all the time. And I almost hate to charge for it, but I deserve it, so I'm like, you know, I have to get something for it.
All the time you putting in for it, you should be getting something for it.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I'm still gonna get the value out of it, because it's valuable. I mean, I keep everything tucked away right now, because nothing's on display. Even at my house, nothing's on display right now, except for one piece. And I don't have her with me for the original piece, but she was a little 6x9, and she's a yoga pose, and I call her Allure Yoga 1. And there's a yoga series that I plan on continuing, actually. And for her, she's hanging up in our dining room right now on a 24x36 canvas, and she has this turquoise border on her, and my mom got her printed out. And my mom also has that same art piece tattooed on her leg. So I do tattoos as well. I don't physically put them on people, but I do the designs. Yeah. And on my Facebook page for my Naturally Allure brand, I have one of my favorite tattoo designs as my cover page for the first of the few that's on my slideshow on there. and it's this Uchiha fireball piece. Because I watch anime, so that's just another thing about me.
Yeah, we're all fans here.
And
We're all
oh my
fans
goodness,
here.
because I got Sasuke and Itachi, and for Sasuke, the lightning is coming off of him, and then with Itachi, he's fading into his crows, and then they are blowing fire at each other, and then in the middle, the fireball forms, and then it has the Sharingan in the middle of that.
That's
And
dope.
it goes so crazy because it's a chess piece. I made it for my friend. He commissioned me to do a chess piece for him. So I got Itachi that will be resting on his left shoulder. And then it expands over with Sasuke on his right shoulder. And then in the middle will be the Sharingan for his chest.
Yeah, that's dope. That's definitely dope. Could you shout your Facebook page out just so people could go check that out?
Yeah, so if you would go to Naturally Allure, that would be Naturally. And then Allure is Allure. So you can see Lapis OG as the profile picture for that. So off the flip, there you go. And then if you search me, if you spell my name out, it's Kastasya Jackson, the traditional way. I've been having to say that because there's different variations of how you spell Jackson. So I'm like, let me make sure to say the traditional way. And if you search my page, then it also links to Naturally Allure as well.
Yeah.
So, and I take commissions day in, day out. I don't have business hours at this point. So even if you hit me up at 3 a.m, I'm up. So if you like, hey, I got this idea, need you to make it, I'll be like, okay, this is how long it takes. And this is what it charge. And we talk price and we get it done. So, and I normally do 50% off the flip and then the other 50% when it's complete. So that way it's more like a payment plan. So nobody's really just coming off the flip like, oh my God, all these dollar signs. And it's like, no. I don't want to overwhelm nobody. I give them some time, and I also overestimate the time that it takes because at that point, I don't really know like if it's really going to take that amount of time or if I'm going to run into some hiccups along the way. So I try to account for a little bit of everything and do it like that. But I'm definitely like a 24-hour person at this point. I take naps, so I just be up sporadically, right? And I think that's what really keeps my work so spontaneous. Because I do a little bit of everything. I do pottery occasionally whenever I do that.
Pottery.
Yeah, I used to do ceramics back in high school, and that really got me kicked off to do different things. And I like to do cooking, and so I do artistry with cooking, and like I have cooking friends, and we all get together and make stuff together. Everything that really involves just putting things together in a unique way, I do it.
That's dope. That's dope. Let me just say this, y'all. Y'all seen the artwork she has. So no matter what she might be charging y'all, it's worth it. Like I'm thinking I might go ahead and get some commission for me because that's after what you just did. That was dope. Especially the piece, the love in the universe or
Love in the Cosmos.
Love in the Cosmos. Like that was dope. You said 5 hours of just inking. Like yeah, it's definitely worth it. You see, she's gonna put in the time and effort to make sure that it's the very best it can be. So definitely check her out on Facebook.
And I got men's clothing coming soon. So
she got a clothing line. So can you talk a little bit about the clothing line?
Yeah. So right now it's primarily women's based because it's easier for me to do measurements for women right now. And I don't have any male models. So if you're willing to model, I give it to you for half price.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
I don't really see myself as the model type, but half price, I'll do it. Definitely do it.
But if I have any other male models out there that would like to do something, just to collab, and I can get some experience to do some measurements for men, because I really want to do some stuff for men too. Because I feel like men deserve to be comfortable just as well as women do, and I think that it's important for me to broaden those types of horizons because this is going to be up there with Gucci, Versace, as soon as it gets big enough, and it's worth it.
Definitely got it.
It's got the same level of quality, so I don't see why not.
Exactly.
And I make clothes that's for all year round. Summer, winter, spring, fall. I wear stuff all year round. Like this, it's springtime, and it's still fit for winter time just the same. And that, my candy corn Cardi, um, that's fit for dang near all year, like really, because it's breathable. You could feel the wind through it, so I definitely advise putting on an undershirt. But it keep you warm for sure. Like if
It
it's
look
just
pretty warm.
this, oh my, like I'm toasty right now with just this on, and it's hanging off my shoulders and everything. But like I'm still real comfortable. Um, and so I just think that's a key element of fashion that I feel like everybody deserves to have. Is cozy, comfy, fashionable at the same time, where you got a little razzle dazzle for your closet, and you can be like, yeah, this is custom made. You can't find this nowhere else, you know. Like what is his name? Oh, OT Genesis. He was like, custom made. You can't find it in the store, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's exactly what I want. I want custom made. You can't find it in the store until it's my store. Cause that's what I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have my store open. It'll come soon. I don't know when, but soon.
I believe it too.
You know.
You got the pieces for it, so
Cause when it open up, I'm telling you, them doors better be flooding, and I know they're gonna be flooded.
we gonna make sure that we put it out there too. Just real quick, I'm gonna ask you, where do you see yourself within the next couple years?
The next couple years, with everything that I've started, it'll be like a whole 180 for me in the next couple of years. Because it wouldn't even be like 360, because that'd be like back on your bull at that point. But like, I don't know. It's so out of the box right now. And I guess this is like the perfect opportunity to do some visualization, right? Because I see it to where all the money's rolling in at that point. The boutique's open. I got everything up. The clothes, the artwork, all the home decor, like everything. Because I wanted to do everything. I wanted to do stuff from dishes to things that you put on your couch, to things that you put on your bed, to things that you put on your body. Like, and it'll just be Naturally Allure Boutique.
Things you put on the wall too, huh?
Oh, yeah, on the walls, everything, right? And so I want to have a little bit of everything going, and I want to build the city up with that. And I'm just like so excited to really have that be a thing, because we got so many vacant buildings here. That's more than enough opportunity to set up a studio and have it.
Yeah.
And have it all there, and like have it to where my workspace is on the top floor and then all my gallery space is on the bottom floor. And even if it's like a 3-level building, it'd still be the same thing, where the uppermost floor would still be my studio space. And I would have skylights and things. I like to do things by natural lighting, because that gives me the best color effect for putting things together. And then the other 2 levels would just be my shop. And I also still want to do like my landscape architecture firm working out of there as well. So I'm going to have everything in one spot, because you come there for getting your backyard renovated if you want it, or the city's coming there because they want a new park design or streetscape, or me building up the neighborhoods because I want to do block revitalization. And so having all of that in one location, because that'll be like the new heart of Kansas City for me. And I love my city so much. And so I'm just like, yeah, we're going to be here. We're going to be building it. And we're going to make the people come back out, And so that's what I want.
Yeah. So, because you do want to do all these things for the city, do you see yourself providing space for other artists who are also trying to accomplish the same things?
Absolutely. And I see it as a way where if they don't have the space where they live to continue to do the work that they feel like they need to do to maintain their physical health, their spiritual health, their mental health, they definitely could rent out a space at my studio that I plan to have and work there, and they can have their own little wall rented out for them to showcase their work and sell their work if they wanted to do that, or they could just rent the space just to have a space to work and, do it like that, because I think it's important to have that artist community be built here.
Yeah, very important.
Because we're really sporadic right now. We're kind of spread out and we're not really linked up just yet, but we don't have the space to link up right now either. And so, or even any real opportunities to actually link up besides like First Fridays and stuff, which even then we're not really linking up for First Fridays. People are just coming proximal to each other, but they're still just selling their stuff individually. And I think for me, my greater vision to reinforce the art community is something that I feel like would definitely take Kansas City to the next level, because Kansas City is already known for artistry.
Most definitely.
You know, and I think it's important for us to continue our city's legacy as natives, to be like, yes, our city is continuing to do this. Like, they upped 18th and Vine and revamped that and made some new streetscape and stuff and like street art and everything, which that's just a step. And the next step is to bring all these artists together, because we have murals all over the city down there. And it's like, where are these artists at? You know, and like, I want to see their faces. I want to meet them and bring them together, and we can have like this awesome building that we're all working in for like an art gang, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I would love to have an art gang, because that would just go crazy, you know, where we're all coming up with ideas together. We critique each other's work in a good way, you know, to where we can improve each other to make the best work possible, right? And we're already in the heart of Northern America, right, for the United States. So we're the heart of the United States. We might as well just really bring that to life and be like, we're the heart of the art community, right? Like, really expand those arms all the way out to say, yes, come here for art, come here for jazz, come here for barbecue. Kansas City barbecue is number one. Number one. You can't get Undisputed. Kansas City nothing anywhere else but Kansas City. So I want Kansas City artists to come together to showcase that. And that's like my ultimate dream.
So, okay. I see you, because like that's something I could really see happening within the next couple of years, especially with the drive and the ambition like you have. We've seen your artwork, you know, we've seen how passionate you are about your artwork. And this sounds like another thing you're passionate about. And, you know, you said you have one studio. I'm thinking, like, while you're talking, you probably going to have multiple studios all spread out throughout the city.
For sure. Because that's how you rebuild, you know? Like, when you take over several locations, that's how you rebuild, because then it's not just concentrating it on one area where some people might not have access, you know? And I want it to be accessible for every creative.
And on both sides, that's how I feel about it. I like to say one city, two states. Yeah, like really, like, you
know, because I always play into the whole KCK Mo thing just for fun, right?
Yeah, but we all do.
And it's just for kicks, because for us, we just like to tease each other, because we really treat each other like family for real. It's just, oh, you mama's side, you daddy's side. That's really how that's how it plays out. And but I always see my city as one city, no matter what. And it's just that KCK just not as built up as KC Mo right now. But all of that's just in the works, you know, because there's still a lot of opportunity on this side that people just don't see yet.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's still opportunity on most sides that people don't take advantage of either. And so it's just having all these different opportunities be highlighted and showcased, where it's like, yeah, we got a KC Mo location, we got a KCK location, and it'll be several, you know, and that's how you really revitalize the community and build the community back up, because it all starts with the people. Because I heard this really important quote when I was watching One Piece, because I'm making my way through One Piece right now. And
you got heart, because I can't do it.
It's such a good show. You need to do it. Like, you wouldn't be disappointed at all.
I believe that is just so many episodes.
But if you make it through Naruto, you can make it through anything else at that point.
That's true.
So, because I made it through Naruto, so I would say definitely you should do One Piece. But I heard this quote in One Piece, and it was like, a kingdom is not its buildings. A kingdom is its people. And we are the chief's kingdom, right?
Yeah.
We need to show up as a kingdom. Showcase as a kingdom. That's what I want. Where we bring both sides together and showcase as a kingdom.
The possibilities are endless when we do that.
It's so endless, like limitless. You know, the sky is the limit at that point. And even then, the sky has no bounds.
Yeah.
So, like, really go for everything. When we come as one, and that's what they don't want right now, right? They don't want us to come as one. But when we come as one, oh my goodness.
The things we can accomplish.
The things we can accomplish. We are a kingdom.
It seems you got a lot planned for the city. We want to thank you, of course, for coming on to the show.
And it's been a pleasure to be on.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you. So, like I said, thank you for coming on to the show. For those of you watching, we're definitely gonna leave her links in the description. Like we're gonna make sure that you get the chance to get something from Naturally Allure and Kastaysa. So, yeah, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of CTYD's The Creative Space. You have any closing remarks?
I just want to say, stay wicked, stay allure, stay you, and walk in your power.
Walk in your power. Hey, that's a quote. So y'all quote that. We out.